Chapter 41. Are You the Devil? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Beauties, something big happened. I actually won a huge jackpot. Here is the image. After Wu Xing opened the diary, he wrote a few sentences and stopped talking nonsense. He directly uploaded the resurrection skill that he just screenshotted to the diary. At the same time, the beauties who were about to go to bed heard the reminder that the diary was updated again. They all scolded Wu Xing angrily in their hearts. What the hell is this guy doing? He disturbed them so late. I don't know. Is staying up late a woman's natural enemy? Although he was cursing in his heart, his body opened a copy of the diary very honestly. If the diary owner could update the diary again, something big must have happened. Could it be that I got some super reward again? What Wu Xing said next confirmed their suspicions. When they looked at the skill cards uploaded by the other party, their beautiful eyes widened. Resurrection skills. It's actually a skill that can resurrect the dead. At this moment, all the beauties were shocked. Whether they were in Dolua continent or in other worlds, they were all stunned by the reward posted by the owner of this diary, Lanba Academy. I'm going to find him. Xiao Wu, who was still extremely worried about Tang San's incident, immediately made a decision after seeing the resurrection skill uploaded by Wu Xing. As long as he finds Wu Xing and asks him to help, his mother can be resurrected. Wuhuan Temple, Bibi Dong, who was already lying on the bed ready to go to bed, suddenly stood up when she saw the resurrection skill uploaded by Wu Xing. A gleam of snowy white showed her unconsciousness, and her eyes became hotter than ever before. Resurrection, what a resurrection! It can bring the dead back to life, and it is not a one-time skill. It is really a great prize. Dugu Mansion. When Dugu Yen saw the reward, he stood up, turned around and left his room, heading towards Wu Xing. Resurrection is an unheard of skill, but she knows what this skill means. It means that with it, she does not have to worry about death. It means that with it, she can even resurrect her important relatives. She understands that if Wu Xing masters this skill, more diary holders will be unable to restrain their restlessness and take the initiative to throw themselves into his arms. For no other reason than to save their lives, countless people will flock to him. After all, no one will not afraid of death, even the goddess is no exception, although Wu Xing usually behaves very timidly in his diary, which would make all the beauties laugh, but if there is a real crisis, they will also be scared, so if she didn't act early, she might not know where to go later, not to mention that she already had a good impression of Wu Xing. For a time, countless beauties were stirred up by the resurrection technique uploaded by Wu Xing. The beauties who were not in Dolua continent were even more eager for the diary system to let them go to their world to do tasks. This night is destined to make countless beauties fall into insomnia because of the word resurrection. At first, I couldn't believe that the system would give me such incredible skills, but when the facts were put in front of me, I had to believe it. I can only say that the system is awesome. But I really want to know what the rewards of the system are related to. Since the diary was upgraded, the rewards have been good. Today, I got a magical skill directly. Are the system rewards related to level and word count? You can try it tomorrow. Of course, it may also be related to the exposed content. If it is related to the exposed content, combined with the resurrection skills that the system rewarded me, I suspect that the diary holders are not only living beings, but also dead people may have copies of the diary. What? Wu Xing's words shocked all the beauties in Zhutian Zhongman. Can dead people get copies of diaries? After all, the diaries are distributed to other worlds, and it is not impossible for people to die. Am I right, Beauty Ayan, Beauty Ruru? Beauty Ayan? A soft beauty? Seeing this, countless questions flashed through the minds of the girls. Beauty Ayin and the others knew that the mother of double standard Tang San's body was the mother, but who was Beauty Ruru? I haven't heard of this name before. Just as they were thinking hard about whether the other party was mentioned in the previous diary, Wu Xing had already explained it. Oh, I forgot to tell you that Ruru Beauty is also a 100,000-year-old soul beast. Its body is a soft bone rabbit, and she is also Xiao Wu's mother. It's a pity that he was killed by the beautiful girl Donger, and his soul ring was also taken away. It's very pitiful. This bastard. Bibi Dong gritted her teeth angrily, and the 2 white spots on her chest kept rising and falling. She now wondered if the owner of the diary was her fan. Except for the good things said in the first diary, the mention of her in the following diaries is not a good thing. She has reason to reposition the diary owner's stance towards her. I have told you about the matter between humans and soul beasts before, so I cannot say who is right or wrong. They are all for survival. This is the inevitable result of the laws of nature, just like you kill some lives to sustain yourself for food. But one thing I'm curious about is, if my resurrection technique resurrects a 100,000-year-old soul beast, will there still be a 100,000-year soul ring after killing it? If so, can it be repeated? If you can, does that mean you can get a 100,000-year soul ring every year? Are you a devil? Ain, Moreau, and other beautiful soul beasts who were reading the diary at this time all shuddered. The thought of being killed, resurrected, and then dead again, and being used as a tool to obtain a 100,000-year soul ring, makes me feel horrified. It would be better to just have my soul scattered. I'm just kidding you, how could I be so cruel, not to mention that with a diary system, a 100,000-year soul ring is nothing. Many beautiful soul beasts breathed a sigh of relief when they heard this. They were really afraid that the owner of the diary would become crazy. Even though he won't really die, it would be too torture. No, it would be too torture for the soul beast. This is the situation where life is worse than death, right? It's just that this skill is a bit unbelievable, but the cooldown time is a bit long. Come, this guy is here again. Looking at Wu Xing's regretful tone, big hash marks appeared on the foreheads of all the girls. This guy is still not satisfied with such an exaggerated skill as resurrection. So what if it takes a year? Not to mention 1 year, even 10 years, 100 years is a magical skill. If you are not satisfied, wait until the level 3 transaction of the diary system is given to us. Why are you using it? In Wu Xing's Versailles, all the beauties were so angry that they gritted their teeth, but there was nothing they could do. If the cooling time is a month, or a day, forget it, I won't say it anymore, lest you say I'm greedy. Girls, isn't it? Okay, overall, I'm quite satisfied. It's time to get the rewards after sharing. I'm afraid everyone won't need to rest if we continue talking. Good night, beauties, and have sweet dreams. You also know that if you continue to update, we will have to stay up late with you. When the girls saw him, they gave Wu Xing another mouthful. I had a good dream, and I was thankful to be able to fall asleep. Since getting a copy of the diary, they feel like they haven't had a good rest. They want to control not to look at it, but they can't. This diary seems to be an addictive poison that makes them unable to stop. I went out today and typed codes on my mobile phone, so I was a little late. Chapter 42 Wu Xing takes full responsibility. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sister Yan, Sister Lingling, what's wrong with you? Early the next morning, when Su Ruoxi woke up and saw Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling, she couldn't help but be startled, and couldn't believe her eyes. The 2 of them were fine last night, but today they all had thick dark circles under their eyes and looked listless, which really surprised her. Looking at Su Ruoxi, who was full of energy, Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling looked at each other and sighed in their hearts. It turns out that there are advantages to not having a copy of the diary. At least they don't have to suffer inhuman torture. Seeing the strange expressions on the 2 women, Su Ruoxi became even more curious and asked again, Sister Yan, Sister Lingling? You'd better ask your man. Dugu Yan said with a resentful look. In fact, as soul sex, they would be fine if they didn't rest for 2 or 3 days, and their energy would not drop too much, nor would they appear dark circles under their eyes or look haggard. The reason why they are like this is all thanks to Wu Xing. I had finished updating my diary last night, but this guy insisted on uploading a reward picture. It was a resurrection technique. How many people could withstand such a test? Naturally, both of them had insomnia, and after finally forcing themselves to fall asleep, they were still not at ease. The dreams were full of images of themselves obtaining this skill. After hearing Dugu Yan's words, Su Ruoxi's mouth suddenly opened wide, full of shock. Isn't my man too powerful? He captured Sister Yan and Sister Lingling in one night. No wonder they were so haggard. Having experienced Wu Xing's fierceness, she certainly knew the horror of her own men. You must know that she fell asleep that day until the afternoon before barely recovering. This was because Wu Xing was considerate of her. Thinking of this, Su Ruoxi happily took the hands of Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling and said happily, "Sister Yan Yan, Sister Lingling, we will be good sisters from now on." Seeing Su Ruoxi's sudden behavior, Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling were stunned for a moment, but then they realized that the other party seemed to have misunderstood, and their faces turned red. "Sister Ruoxi, you may have misunderstood. Sister Yan Yan didn't mean what she said." "Misunderstanding, what misunderstanding?" Yi Lingling's words made Su Ruoxi's hands freeze. We and Wu Xing didn't do anything last night," Yi Lingling explained with a blushing face. Now she wanted to find a hole in the ground and crawl into it. It's okay to be misunderstood, but it was Su Ruoxi who said it. It always felt like there was a rhythm of social death. The same was true for Dugu Yan on the side. She did decide to go find Wu Xing yesterday, but when she got to the other party's room, she backed down and finally ran away. Despite her usual outspokenness, there are some things that have nothing to do with her personality. She immediately gives up after her brain heat is over, but she is not as good as Su Ruoxi. After hearing the explanation, Su Ruoxi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She felt that she had made a big mistake, but it's okay, at least he made his attitude clear. With her words, the two women should not have too many worries next. This is also true. Although Yi Lingling is still blushing, she is thinking about it carefully in her heart. Since it was not what she thought, Su Ruoxi was confused again. What happened? "You should wait until Wu Xing comes and ask him." Dugu Yan sighed. She felt tired just thinking about the reward. "What are you asking me?" "What are you talking about?" said Cao Cao. "Cao Cao is here." As soon as Dugu Yan finished his answer, Wu Xing's voice came. When he came in front of the three women, he was shocked when he saw the looks of Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling clearly. "Damn it, what bad things did you two do last night?" Hearing this, Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling both rolled their eyes and said angrily, "You are still pretending. Pretend as hard as you can." "Am I pretending? What am I pretending to be?" Wu Xing asked subconsciously, and suddenly thought of something. In the next second, the corner of his mouth curled up. "You can't sleep because of my reward, right? You still said. Believe it or not, I will bite you." Dugu Yan opened his small mouth, revealing his white fangs, and assumed the posture of a snake attacking its prey. "Wu Xing, I suspect that you did it on purpose yesterday to keep us awake." Yi Lingling also said with rare rebuke, looking at the two women on the united front. Wu Xing quickly laughed. "How is that possible? I am just a little excited to share it with you. Who would have thought that your hearts are so small? I have never seen big winds and waves, so this is not possible." Wu Xing's shameless answer made the two women angry. "Look, is this human language? The benefits have been taken for you, and Versailles has also been installed for you. In the end, they are small-minded and have never seen the world." Seeing this, Su Ruoxi finally understood something. The reason why the two women looked haggard was because their men seemed to have received some incredible reward, which made them sleepless. "Wu Xing, what reward did you get?" Su Ruoxi asked curiously. What kind of reward can make Sister Yan Yan, Sister Lingling, and even all the diary holders lose control? After hearing Su Ruoxi's words, Wu Xing didn't hide anything and directly revealed the reward. He said that every time he wrote the diary content, he would tell the other party, so naturally he would not hide anything. Hearing this, Su Ruoxi also covered her mouth in shock. Her man actually had the resurrection technique. No wonder Dugu Yan and Yi Lingling both lost their composure. Even she was not much better. It seems that not having a copy of the diary is not necessarily a bad thing. Su Ruoxi pursed her lips and smiled. At least she was not tortured by this incident. Of course, she was also happy from the bottom of her heart that Wu Xing had acquired such incredible skills, and praised her original decisiveness. Otherwise, where can I find such an excellent boyfriend if I miss it? After talking about the diary rewards, Dugu Yanfang asked, "Wu Xing, what are your plans for today?" I plan to visit Tiando City again and return to the academy in the afternoon. Wu Xing thought for a while and said, Tiando City is very big. Although I walked around for a long time yesterday, I still didn't go to many places. Even if I added today, I might not be able to visit all of it, and considering that tomorrow is the time for the team to gather, even if you can't see everything, you can only do this first and come back another day when you have time. Okay. Du Guyan and Yi Lingling both had no objections to Wu Xing's suggestion. As for Su Ruoxi, not to mention, she now focuses on her man. Seeing this, Wu Xing said again, let's say hello to your grandpa first. Du Guyan nodded, and then led a few people to see Du Gubo. Du Gubo was also startled when he saw his precious granddaughter, but soon he quietly gave his granddaughter a thumbs up. The granddaughter who was still shy in front of him last night took action just one night. She was worthy of being a member of their Dugu family. Looking at her grandfather's little actions, Du Guyan was about to cry, but she didn't explain it in the end, so it was just a misunderstanding. Anyway, after meeting such an outstanding person as Wu Xing, I am afraid that I will never look down on other men again and rely on him. Well, this guy takes full responsibility. Several people left the mansion and were debating whether to go to the auction house or the spirit fighting arena first, when several beautiful figures appeared at the other end of the street. Chapter 43 Set up a trap with three beauties. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's them. Du Guyan raised his eyebrows when he saw these figures. It was none other than Shrek's three beauties who had met yesterday. She was not surprised that they came to her so early in the morning. Wu Xing had already told her whereabouts in a copy of the diary yesterday, coupled with the subsequent resurrection skill reward. Even if the opponent said not to come to him unless necessary, few people would be able to control him. Wu Xing looked at Shrek Sanmei walking towards this side, but the corners of his mouth were slightly raised. He said so much last night, and he also specifically mentioned Aro, and he also had his own plan, since he planned to make Tang Sanji betray his relatives and ask Xiao Wu to wear a big hat for him. How could Wu Xing remain indifferent? After all, it is not enough to do this just by relying on your own updated diary. Only by completely letting the other party fall and can you ensure that everything is foolproof. Sure enough, now it seems they took the bait. Brother Wu. Xiao Wu and the three girls came up and greeted him respectfully. It turns out it's you. Wu Xing nodded in surprise, and then asked in a pretense of doubt, what do you want from me? Although it was his plan to bring Shrek Sanmei here, he couldn't show it on the surface. Xiao Wu looked at Wu Xing, and then at the girls beside him. His face was hesitant to speak, but thinking of his mother, he mustered up the courage. Brother Wu, are you convenient now? Xiao Wu has something to do. Please help me, can we talk, alone? Hearing Xiao Wu's words, Wu Xing had already guessed what she wanted to say, and smiled. Ruoxi is my girlfriend, and Yanzi and Lingling are also my good friends. If you need my help, just tell me. It does not matter. Naturally, he won't talk to the other party alone. He also needs several women to be present. Wu Xing's words made Su Ruoxi on the side full of joy, her beautiful eyes curled up, and Du Guyan and Yi Lingling were overjoyed. The words of the other party already represent that the relationship between them is unusual, not to mention Su Ruoxi. She knew who the three girls in front of her were through the contents of her man's diary, and now she said that she was his girlfriend in front of them. Is there anything more worthy of her happiness than this? Xiao Wu was slightly startled when she heard this. She didn't expect Wu Xing to say that, but the other party had already said so, and she couldn't force him. After all, she had something to ask of him. After thinking for a moment, Xiao Wu gritted her teeth, clasped her hands and said, Brother Wu, please revive my mother. That if you stop talking, you have to kneel down. Wu Xing, with quick eyesight and quick hands, held up Xiao Wu who was about to kneel down. Sister Xiao Wu, I said in my diary that if you need my help with anything, I will spare no effort, but this gift is too heavy. Xiao Wu, thank you, Brother Wu. Xiao Wu said gratefully. Wu Xing was dumbfounded. After helping the other party up, he said with some embarrassment, Sister Xiao Wu, the favor you are talking about is not that I don't want to help, but how should I put it, the cooling time of my skills is a bit long. I can understand how much you miss your mother, but there are so many holders of copies of the diary, and many of them have the same experience as you. I really shouldn't promise anyone first, do you understand? After saying that, Wu Xing looked at Du Guyan and Yi Lingling, who also had copies of the diary, and the meaning was very clear. Are you kidding? If he agrees to the other party so readily, then how will he manipulate the other party next? Xiao Wu knows that Xiao Wu is willing to do anything to repay Brother Wu for your great kindness. Although Xiao Wu is a rabbit that has been transformed for 100,000 years, she also understands what Wu Xing said, but she really misses her mother too much. Kiss, now that I finally see hope, I am not willing to give up. When Wu Xing heard this, he couldn't help but help his forehead, but he was thinking in his heart, isn't he handsome? It is not said that those who are handsome will marry each other, those who are average will be like cows and horses, and those who are ugly will be in the next life. Putting aside this thought, Wu Xing smiled bitterly and said, Xiao Wu, that's not what I meant. As my pen pal, I will definitely help you as much as I can, but I can't agree to this for the time being. He couldn't do this easily. If he did so easily, all the beauties in the diary copies would come to him one by one and ask him to resurrect this one, and others would be annoyed to death. Besides, the current relationship between the two of them was not worthy of him using the resurrection technique. After all, although he now has this technique to ensure his safety, if he dies in the middle, he will have to wait for the cooling time after using this technique before he can be resurrected through passive means. Just ignoring it like this is not what Wu Xing wants to see, so he said, Xiao Wu, otherwise, you wait first. When the diary rewards better skills, I will definitely promise you to resurrect Wu. Wu Xing did not call Xiao Wu's mother an elder or any other taboo name, but called her by her first name, showing his dirty intentions. Among them, Du Guyan immediately noticed that before this guy knew his grandfather, he called his grandfather Senior Dugu, but now he calls Xiao Wu's mother directly and intimately Wu, which is horrifying to think about. The bastard in front of me likes old women, so I'm going to give him a hammer. Really? Brother Wu. Xiao Wu's originally gloomy expression flashed with light, and she looked at Wu Xing closely. She also knew that finding her this time might not necessarily lead to success, but taking action would always have a better chance than not taking action, even if she was disappointed in the end. Of course it's true. Wu Xing nodded with a smile, then calmly touched her head and comforted. Besides, the diary copy is not as simple as you think. Maybe as it upgrades, I might get a similar reward, and then I might not need to take action. Thank you, Brother Wu, for informing me. Xiao Wu said touchedly. After hearing this, Wu Xing automatically ignored Wu Xing's intimate gesture of stroking her head. As a soul beast, he liked to be touched like this. It was only after he became a human and learned about the civilization of the human world that he gradually realized that some intimacy was not allowed. But who is Wu Xing? He is the owner of the diary, and with the bonus of this status, he will only make the other person feel that he is a big brother who sincerely cares for him. You're welcome, helping each other is the purpose of the diary. Wu Xing said with a smile. Yes. Xiao Wu nodded happily, as if she had thought of something. Brother Wu, let's make Xiao Wu a friend. Okay. Wu Xing agreed without thinking. Even if the other party didn't say anything, he would take the initiative to add him as a friend. This was an indispensable step before giving Tang San a hat. Brother Wu, let's add a friend as well. Ning Rongrong, who had been silent at this time, asked expectantly after seeing Xiao Wu and Wu Xing add each other as friends. No problem. Wu Xing replied with a smile, and immediately added Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing as friends. To this end, his first step has been completed. Looking at Shrek Sanmei in the friend column on the diary panel, Wu Xing smiled secretly in his heart. Tang San, are you ready for the double standard? Chapter 44 Ning Rongrong's Initiative. You are listening at novelfull.audio. By the way, Brother Wu, do you still have the fairy grass you mentioned last time? After adding friends, Ning Rongrong took the lead and asked. She couldn't get involved in what happened to Xiao Wu just now. Now that she had the chance, she certainly wouldn't end it easily. At least she couldn't leave until she left an impression in the other person's eyes. Yes, do you want it? Wu Xing smiled. He obtained hundreds of immortal grasses, And even if he gave one to each of the diary holders in Dolua continent, it should be no problem. It can be seen how selfish Tang San was. He and Dugu Bo were brothers, and in the end he didn't even give his granddaughter a piece of fairy grass. Yes. Ning Rongrong nodded without thinking. She was determined to get the fairy grass that could make the 7 treasures glazed pagoda evolve into the 9 treasures glazed pagoda. Of course, she didn't intend to have sex for nothing. She opened her storage soul guide, searched for a while, and took out a flashing golden card, saying, "Brother Wu, there are 500,000 gold soul coins here. I'll tell you by 3 plants." 3 plants? Wu Xing said in astonishment. Yes, I, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Qing each have 1 plant. Ning Rongrong explained quickly. Wu Xing said in her diary that only 1 plant per person could be sold, so she naturally remembered it. It seems that you have a good relationship. Wu Xing couldn't help but smile, and sighed in his heart at the same time. These girls in Dolua are all young rich women, and they would not even blink an eye when they pay for 100,000 gold soul coins. First there was Yi Lingling, and now there is Ning Rongrong, and he is even more arrogant, with 1 move worth 500,000 gold soul coins. You must know that by calculating some of the goods purchased yesterday, he probably knows the value of the gold soul coin in Dolua world. 1 gold soul coin is at least equivalent to 100 yuan in the previous life. These 500,000 gold soul coins start at 50 million. If this is not a rich woman, what is she? He, Brother Wu, the 3 of us are the best sisters. Ning Rongrong said with a smile. Originally, Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing did not want Ning Rongrong to pay for them, but they did not have 100,000 gold soul coins with them, and considering that the amount of fairy grass might be limited, they could only wait until later to slowly return the money to her. Wu Xing smiled again after hearing this, and then handed the golden soul card to Su Ruoshi, but she did not take it immediately, but hesitated and said, "Wu Xing, I don't have 200,000 golden soul coins with me." Su Ruoshi's face turned red after she answered. She only had less than 11 gold soul coins in total, of which were given to Sister Lingling by her husband for safekeeping last time. "Sister Ruoshi, I have it with me. I'll find it for you first." Before Wu Xing could say anything, Yi Lingling had already come to Su Ruoshi's rescue. "No, there's no need to go to such trouble. Just leave it at Brother Wu's place. I'm not in a hurry to use it." Ning Rongrong waved her hands as soon as she saw it. She was still thinking about how to get involved with Wu Xingdua, and she wished she could put the 200,000 yuan with him so as not to waste this God-given opportunity. Ning Rongrong's thoughts were exactly what Wu Xing wanted, so he said, "Since Rongrong believes in me, I will keep it for now and find it for you another day." "Okay, Brother Wu." Ning Rongrong responded happily. While speaking, Wu Xing had already taken out 3 fairy grasses and handed them to Ning Rongrong. Then he pointed at the 3 fairy grasses and introduced them one by one. "This one is Qilua tulip, suitable for Rongrong's martial spirit. This one is Narcissus jade skin. The bone is a martial spirit suitable for Zhu Qing, and this one is a delicate rose, a martial spirit suitable for Xiao Wu." He didn't take out the acacia heartbroken red. If he gave this fairy grass to Xiao Wu, if he recognized the owner and the target was Tang San, wouldn't he be shooting himself in the foot? So he replaced it with another suitable one. Her soft bone rabbit's fairy grass. "Well, thank you, Brother Wu." Ning Rongrong nodded and handed the other 2 fairy grasses to Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing respectively. "You're welcome, you spent money." Wu Xing joked with a smile. "Then we have to thank you, Brother Wu. The value of this fairy grass to us is far more than 100,000 gold soul coins. Xiao Wu, Zhu Qing and I have already taken advantage of it." What Ning Rongrong said was true. Considering the value of this fairy grass, even if it were sold for 1 million gold soul coins, there would probably be countless soul masters rushing to get it. Looking at the 3 beauties of Shrek who held the fairy grass for a while and then put it into the soul guide, Wu Xing asked, "Xiao Wu, Rongrong, Zhu Qing, do you have anything else to do?" "It's nothing, thank you Brother Wu." The 3 women thanked him again. "In that case, I'll go shopping with Ruoshi and the others first." Wu Xing said with a smile, as if he had something to say. Shopping? Ning Rongrong's eyes lit up slightly when he heard this, and he immediately said, Brother Wu, it's also the first time for Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing to come to Tiando City, why don't we come together? This. Wu Xing glanced at Su Ruoxi beside him. He had purposely said he was going shopping, and his purpose was to get Sanmei to bring it up. After all, it would definitely not work if he took the initiative to invite her, as it might be considered as having ulterior motives. It's just that before agreeing, it's only reasonable to consult your woman's opinion. Naturally, Su Ruoxi would not refuse, let alone disgrace her own man, just let him decide. On the other hand, Du Guyan felt a little unhappy. She knew that the three Shrek beauties would not let go of such an opportunity. Okay, let's go shopping together. Seeing this, Wu Xing said with a smile, in an instant, the original team of 4 developed into a team of 7. Brother Wu, where are you going to play? Ning Rongrong asked very familiarly. Let's go to the auction house first. I heard that the auction house in Tiando City is very impressive. I have never seen the grand scene in this world. Wu Xing thought for a moment and decided, when everyone heard this, of course they had no objection. They said they were shopping together, but it would be better to say that they were accompanying each other more. Along the way, I thought Du Guyan would be the most active one, but I didn't expect that with the addition of Ning Rongrong, she became the most talkative and kept pestering Wu Xing with questions. Su Ruoxi was better, holding Wu Xing's arm. As his girlfriend, there was nothing to fight for. No matter what, she was his first woman, and she already had a huge advantage just because of that. At the same time, this is also her smart point. She knows that her men are excellent and it is inevitable to be surrounded by girls. The only thing she has to do is to make herself appear generous, so that Wu Xing will only care for her and love her even more. On the contrary, Du Guyan was a little angry and his teeth were itching. This Shrek's Ning Rongrong seemed harmless to humans and animals, but he had many evil intentions. Due to his young age, he could speak like Brother Wu in one mouthful, and his name was so sweet. Xiao Lang Huzi. Du Guyan curled his lips and cursed the other person in his heart. She has a straightforward personality, and when it comes to playing palace battles and scheming, she is definitely not as good as Ning Rongrong, who grew up in the Qibao glazed sect. Among these women, the only one who can compete with her is Yilingling, but she is the kind of girl with an indifferent personality. Even if she really wants to fight for her, she will not show it in public. Facing Ning Rongrong, who tried his best to show off himself, Wu Xing was not an idiot. He had noticed it very early. He just didn't care and was even happy to see him. Chapter 45 Ning Rongrong Seduction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tiando Auction House has a magnificent building with a round shape, because both Du Guyan and Ning Rongrong have been here before and know everything here very well. They quickly obtained the bidding qualification certificates for everyone. Brother Wu, let's go in. After handing the qualification certificate to Wu Xing, Ning Rongrong couldn't wait to hold his hand and enter. Looking at Ning Rongrong, who was one step ahead of her again, Du Guyan's lungs behind her almost exploded with anger. She had never seen such a shameless person. Entering the auction house, it was not as magnificent as expected. Instead, it was simple and clear, giving people an extremely elegant feeling. Putting on the masks prepared by the waiters, the group of people arrived at the auction hall smoothly. The auction had already begun. There were many people sitting around, and they were all raising placards to bid for the items on the central high platform below. Wu Xing and the others found a seat and sat down, then started watching with great interest. There are many items for auction, of different types, but most of them are related to soul masters. After watching for a while, Ning Rongrong, who was occupying the other side of Wu Xing, couldn't help but ask, Brother Wu, are there any auction items you like? That while saying this, she also winked at him, which was meaningful. Wu Xing glanced at the other party, raised his eyebrows slightly, and was a little surprised by her bold behavior. He could clearly feel the other person's hand on his thigh, since there is a small table between the seats in the auction house with a sign on it, which is for guests to bid. This also means that some small actions below will not be noticed unless you look carefully. Looking calmly at Su Ruoxi on one side, Wu Xing looked at Ning Rongrong playfully when he saw that there was nothing wrong with her, and then directly put a hand under the small table. Then, after holding the other person's hand, Fang replied nonchalantly, "Not yet, let's see again." Ning Rongrong was slightly startled, but she did not withdraw her hand. Instead, she gently stretched out her slender fingers and scratched Wu Xing's palm. "Hiss, this girl knows how to play." Wu Xing took a breath, and the exciting feeling spread throughout his body. He really didn't expect that the little princess of the Qibao glazed sect in front of him would be so playful and seduce him in public. Since he was not at a disadvantage anyway, Wu Xing became bolder, holding the opponent's little hand and shifting his position slightly. In an instant, he could feel Ning Rongrong's body shaking slightly, and then her beautiful face turned red. Wu Xing originally thought that Ning Rongrong would be frightened by his actions and pull back, but interestingly, he found that this girl was more open-minded than expected and had no intention of pulling back at all. Interesting, it seems that this chick has completely risked herself, so he must win her, Wu Xing thought playfully in his heart. Ning Rongrong leaned in front of the small table, her beautiful face slightly red. She also didn't expect Wu Xing to be so bold, because she noticed that her little hand seemed to have touched something indescribable. This made her already active mind become even more active. She wants to conquer Wu Xing and become his woman, not only because Wu Xing is the owner of the diary, nor because of how much benefit the other party can bring to the Qibao glazed sect, but because Wu Xing is handsome, has a perfect temperament, and is in line with the requirements. Any request from her, if the other person is ugly and looks like a monster, even if it is the owner of the diary, even if it is an endless opportunity for her, it will be extremely difficult for her to take the initiative to seduce him without even meeting him. Although this may not be entirely correct, it is not far off. The auction was still going on, and everyone was talking about the auction items. They had no idea that Wu Xing and Ning Rongrong were having fun. Faced with the inquiry, Wu Xing also responded indifferently. There was a small table to cover it, so as long as he didn't stand up, he wouldn't be afraid of being discovered. "Brother Wu, I'm going to the bathroom. Do you want to come?" That while Wu Xing was playing with Ning Rongrong's little hand, he suddenly noticed something strange about the diary system. When he opened it, his eyes widened suddenly and he looked at Ning Rongrong in disbelief. "This little girl really can't wait. Fortunately, I sent a private message, and the diary copy is also very powerful, and personal privacy will be blocked, otherwise Du Guiyan and the others who also have a copy of the diary will definitely find out the clues." Ning Rongrong withdrew her little hand and raised an eyebrow at Wu Xing, which made him feel itchy before she spoke to the girls, stood up, left the table and walked towards the bathroom at the back. Seeing Ning Rongrong walking away, Wu Xing became restless. What man could resist such an exciting thing? Anyway, he couldn't remain indifferent, but he couldn't get up immediately, so he could only pretend to take the initiative to talk to a few women about the auction items. After a while, it felt almost the same, and then he said something in Su Ruoshi's ear, got up and went to the back. Su Ruoshi nodded, glanced at her man's back, and blinked, but didn't say anything. "Brother Wu, are you here?" Ning Rongrong's message came again. Wu Xing, who had just left his seat, was very embarrassed when he saw the flashing message. Why didn't he see that the other party was such a woman in the anime before? She was almost as good as those green tea money worshippers in her previous life. "Coming." Wu Xing replied, and then his pace quickened a lot. Following the sign, we quickly arrived at the bathroom, and from a distance saw Ning Rongrong waiting in front of the women's room. "Brother Wu, why are you so slow?" Ning Rongrong looked at Wu Xing who had just arrived, and couldn't help but said coquettishly. Wu Xing rolled his eyes angrily when he heard this. This girl was more impatient than him. "Do you think I'm as impatient as you?" After Wu Xing said that, he naturally put his arms around the other person's waist, lowered his head and wanted to kiss that little mouth. "No, Brother Wu, it won't be good if someone comes over." Ning Rongrong's face turned red and she held Wu Xing's hand while breathing rapidly. Facing Ning Rongrong's stop, Wu Xing chuckled in his heart. At this time, he started to pretend to be innocent. Could he let it go? The hand holding the back of the head exerted a little force, and the lips touched together instantly. "Well." Ning Rongrong groaned softly and lost her words. I don't know how long it took, but it wasn't until his breathing became difficult that Wu Xing let go of the other person's lips. Looking at Ning Rongrong, who was panting, face flushed, and eyes full of peach blossoms. He wished he could go into battle with his gun, but in the end, he held it back. It was already suspicious that both of them were in the bathroom. If he went any further and didn't have time to talk, he would be playing with fire, and the other girls would definitely find out something was wrong. Brother Wu, we are in this situation now, you have to be responsible for Rongrong. After breathing for a while, Ning Rongrong said coquettishly to Wu Xing with loving eyes. That depends on your performance. Wu Xing said with a wicked smile. Ning Rongrong hesitated for a moment, then blushed and let go of the other person's hand that was causing trouble on her. There is a play. Wu Xing's eyes lit up, and he got his wish and satisfied his hand addiction. Although Xiaohe has just revealed her sharp points, in such an environment, she is extremely beautiful. Chapter 46. There are hundreds of millions of martial spirits. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, go back first. Reluctantly taking back the hand that still exuded the fragrance of a girl, Wu Xing hurriedly said, although he is lustful, he knows that he cannot stay too long. Anyway, there is a long way to go and there are still plenty of opportunities, so he is not in a hurry. Ning Rongrong looked at Wu Xing with a blushing face, straightened her messy skirt, and then said, Brother Wu, Rongrong is now your woman. Yes. Wu Xing nodded, and then said, go back quickly, it will be bad if Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing find out. After being affirmed, Ning Rongrong's face was full of joy. She put her arms around Wu Xing's neck, put her feet up and kissed him, and then left with satisfaction. This little witch. Looking at Ning Rongrong's leaving figure, Wu Xing had a lingering aftertaste. Originally, he set up a trap for Shrek's three beauties to come, thinking that he would become familiar with them first, and then take a closer look at them. Unexpectedly, Ning Rongrong actually took the initiative more than him, but thinking about my own situation, the behavior of this little witch from the Seven Treasures glazed sect is not surprising. Regardless of the identity of the diary owner, the resurrection technique, and the potential for the future, how many women can resist this temptation? If he hadn't considered that he still needed to keep a good image in front of Xiao Wu and gave Tang Sen a big hat, he would have eaten him just now. Rongrong, what's wrong with you? Ning Rongrong returned to her seat. Although she tried her best to hide herself, her face was still slightly flushed, which made Xiao Wu next to her very confused. My stomach feels a little uncomfortable, maybe I've been squatting for a long time. Ning Rongrong casually made up a lie and said perfunctorily. Hearing this, Xiao Wu couldn't help but feel strange. Shouldn't an upset stomach mean that the face turns white and blue? Although it felt strange, he didn't think much about it, let alone Wu Xing. After all, it was only a few minutes before the two parties saw each other. After a while, Wu Xing slowly walked back and sat down again. As soon as he sat down, he felt something strange coming from Su Ruoshi. Ruoshi, have you seen any auction items you like? Wu Xing smiled slightly and calmly grabbed her delicate hand. It seemed that his girlfriend was not blind. She had already noticed the intrigue between him and Ning Rongrong, but she just didn't expose it. This made Wu Xing very touched, and the thought of cherishing her even more emerged in his heart. How could he let down such a considerate girlfriend who would not fight or rob her, was not jealous, and even helped to cover her up? Feeling her man's strong hands, Su Ruoshi had a smile on her face, shook her head and said, not yet. Well, if you find something you like, shoot it. We're not short of money now. Wu Xing nodded. Nowadays, he also has hundreds of thousands of gold soul coins, which is considered a small savings. Even if he puts it here, he really doesn't have to worry about not having enough money for ordinary items, Su Ruoshi responded, but until later, nothing of interest to the two of them appeared. It was already noon when we came out of the auction house. We had dinner together in the hotel, and then went to the Tiando Great Soul Fighting Arena. The atmosphere here is more lively than that of the auction house, and the crowds are so loud that it makes people's blood boil. Brother Wu, is your martial spirit blue silver grass? Ning Rongrong seemed to have thought of something and asked as she looked at the spirit fighting competition below through the floor-to-ceiling glass. Ning Rongrong's words aroused the curiosity of Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing, and they all looked over, including Du Guyan and Yi Lingling. I had not considered this issue carefully before, but now that I think about it, it seems very strange. You must know that Wu Xing had previously mentioned in the diary copy that he had obtained the heaven-defying martial spirit, and the blue-silver grass martial spirit doesn't seem to be a heaven-defying martial spirit, right? Even if he has the blessing of 3 10,000-year soul rings, he may not be able to use it to show off in his diary. Looking at the women who were all looking over, Wu Xing smiled mysteriously and said, "Secret." As expected. Looking at Wu Xing's mysterious look, the women knew it would be like this. "Brother Wu, are you also a twin martial soul?" Ning Rongrong asked with twinkling eyes. Wu Xing chuckled and replied enigmatically, "Absolutely." "Is it possible that he has a 3-life martial spirit?" Du Guyan couldn't hold back his curiosity and spoke. Wu Xing shook his head, and immediately released his soul power, chanting softly, and immediately a rabbit martial soul appeared in his hand. Row, row bone rabbit. Xiao Wu's eyes widened and she said in disbelief, but this was not over yet. In the palm of Wu Xing's other hand, another glazed tower glowing with 9-color light appeared. 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda, no. 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda. Ning Rongrong's eyes widened and her tone was trembling. Not only her, but Su Ruoxi also caused a stir. What kind of terrifying existence is her man? He showed 2 different martial spirits with a wave of his hand, but at this time, it was far from being played. As Wu Xing shook his hand, after the martial spirit dissipated, a fierce tiger appeared again. White tiger martial spirit. This time it was Zhu Zhuqing's turn to be shocked. Not bad. Wu Xing smiled and nodded, and then joked, "Sister Zhuqing, my martial soul can use martial soul fusion skills with you." Wu Xing's frivolous words immediately made the cold Zhu Zhuqing blush. Of course she understood what the other party meant. He was very straightforward in the diary copy. Even if the other party began to restrain himself after learning that the diary holder had a woman from Zhutian Zongman, he could not change immediately. If it had been before, Du Guyan would have scolded Wu Xing in his heart for being a philanderer, but now he was completely shocked by the other party's martial spirit. After a long time, he said, "Wu Xing, how many martial spirits do you have?" "Well, there are hundreds of millions more." Wu Xing smiled. 1. Du Guyan was stunned, and then asked, "What kind of martial spirit is the remaining one?" Don't ask. You have to leave me some trump cards anyway. You can't take off all my underwear, right?" Seeing Du Guyan, who was misled by his homophonic pronunciation, Wu Xing did not explain, but stopped him from continuing to ask. "Go down." Hearing that his underwear was taken off, Du Guyan's face turned slightly red, and he glanced at that position subconsciously before saying, "Bah, if you don't ask, don't ask. Who cares about taking off your underwear?" After a rough fight, the girls consciously did not choose to ask any more questions, but their hearts could not calm down for a long time. One person actually has so many martial souls, leaving no way for other soul masters to survive. Time passed in a blink of an eye, and several people walked out of the big spirit fighting arena. It was also time to say goodbye to Shrek Sanmei. After getting along with each other for a day, the relationship with Sanmei can be regarded as a certain degree of friendship, especially Ning Rongrong, who is just short of the last step. "Brother Wu, come to Tiando City when you have time." Ning Rongrong waved to Wu Xing with reluctance. "Brother Wu, keep in touch." Xiao Wu also said the same thing. Obviously she was very concerned about resurrecting her mother. "Okay." Wu Xing nodded, waved to Shrek Sanmei, and left with Su Ruoxi and the others. It wasn't until the figure disappeared that Shrek Sanmei withdrew his gaze and walked towards Shrek Academy. At the same time, Tang San, who had not seen Xiao Wu during the whole day, was almost going crazy with anxiety. Chapter 47 The Beginning of Estrangement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Xiao Wu, where have you been?" As soon as Xiao Wu returned to Shrek Academy, Tang San came up to him with a worried look on his face. This couldn't help but make him nervous. In recent days, he found that Xiao Wu's relationship with him had become somewhat distant. In the past, Xiao Wu would always follow him behind him all day long. Even if something happened, he would tell him in advance. However, this was the first time that he disappeared so early in the morning and didn't let him know. "I went out with Rongrong," Zhu Qing and the others. Xiao Wu looked at Tang San with some confusion and explained, but she didn't mention Wu Xing. Tang San frowned. He always felt that something was wrong with Xiao Wu. Before he could reach out, he wanted to grab the other person's hand, but as soon as he stretched out his hand, Xiao Wu had already subconsciously shrunk. Xiao Wu, did third brother do something wrong to make you unhappy? Tang San's face froze when he saw Xiao Wu's movements. No. No. Xiao Wu shook her head. Of course, it wasn't because Tang San had done anything wrong, but because Wu Xing had subtly influenced her and felt that the other party's desire to control her was too great. This made her a little scared and at the same time, she didn't know how to face it. No. Tang San couldn't help being stunned for a moment, and then asked excitedly, Xiao Wu, what's wrong with you these days? Why are you so cold to me all of a sudden? You were not like this before. Xiao Wu did not answer, but shook her head and said, Brother, I have something else to do, so I will go back to the dormitory first. Tang San's expression suddenly changed, seeing that Xiao Wu was about to step over him. How could he let Xiao Wu leave? He had to at least understand what was going on, otherwise he would have trouble sleeping and eating. He regards Xiao Wu as his forbidden love. If he doesn't understand the cause and effect, how can he feel at ease? Xiao Wu, tell me, what happened? Did someone say bad things about me in front of you? He stretched out his hand to stop Xiao Wu. Tang San's eyes were fixed on Xiao Wu, his tone unknowingly rose. A few points, he really couldn't think of anything that made him angry, and the only thing was that someone said something in front of Xiao Wu. Tang San's words startled Xiao Wu, her eyes became a little dodgeful. She would not lie, let alone lie. When Tang San saw this, his face suddenly darkened. Sure enough, someone really said some bad words in front of Xiao Wu, which made her distance herself from him. Who is it? Tang San said gloomily, his whole body filled with hostility. Someone actually provoked a relationship between him and Xiao Wu. No matter who it was, he had to make the other person look good. The sudden burst of violence from Tang San stunned Xiao Wu, who seemed at a loss for a moment. No one told Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu reacted and said with a panicked look. You're lying to me. Tang San gritted his teeth and said, how can I still not understand you? If there was no one else, would you dare not look into my eyes? Xiao Wu was terrified. This was the first time she saw Tang San with such a terrifying look, and she couldn't speak. Tell me, I must kill the guy who instigated our relationship. Seeing Xiao Wu's delay in speaking, Tang San roared at her. Tang San's roar was like a thunderbolt hitting Xiao Wu's mind. His face turned pale, and he suddenly found that the other party was unfamiliar. At the same time, Ning Rongrong, who was beside Xiao Wu, couldn't stand it anymore and said loudly, Tang San, why are you yelling at Xiao Wu? Didn't Xiao Wu tell you that there is no one else? You still scare her. Tang San's roar, coupled with Ning Rongrong's loud questioning, made a lot of noise, attracting side glances from the students passing by, and also caused Dai Mubai and others to rush over after hearing the sound. What's wrong? What happened? Dai Mubai and the others who came over were very confused, but when they saw Xiao Wu's appearance, they were shocked again and said, Tang San, what's wrong with Xiao Wu? Ning Rongrong's loud questioning brought Tang San back to his senses, and when he looked at Dai Mubai and the others who had arrived, he realized that he was a little excited. Looking at Xiao Wu's somewhat frightened eyes, he quickly explained, Xiao Wu, I'm sorry, it's my fault, third brother, for scaring you. But I also want to be good to you. Don't let anyone deceive you. Don't you understand my feelings for you all this time? Dai Mubai and others who had just arrived couldn't help but look at each other in shock when they heard Tang San's words. They thought that Xiao Wu was bullied by other students, which was why Tang San was so angry, but now it seems that this is not the case. Instead, the other party scared Xiao Wu, which made several people confused. You must know that in their eyes, Tang San has always been extremely protective of Xiao Wu, so how could he get angry at him? Xiao Wu was a relatively soft-hearted person. Seeing Tang San apologize, she felt a little better. She shook her head slowly and said in a low voice, "I'm a little uncomfortable, so I'll go back first." After saying that, he stepped over Tang San and walked towards the dormitory. When Zhu Zhuqing saw it, he quickly helped Xiao Wu away. Ning Rongrong, on the other hand, glared at Tang San before catching up with them. When the three women left, Tang San's originally apologetic expression turned gloomy again, and his fists clenched making soft noises. "Who is it? Who is it? Xiao San, what happened?" Tang San's appearance made Dai Mubai and others tremble with fear, but they still asked out of concern. Tang San stared at the direction Xiao Wu left, and then answered word by word, "Someone said something bad about me in front of Xiao Wu, and Xiao Wu doesn't want to see me anymore." What? Several people were shocked again when they heard this. No wonder the other party was so angry. It turned out that someone was instigating the relationship between the two, but then I thought about it and it was a little unbelievable. With the relationship Tang San and Xiao Wu usually displayed, who could do it? Oscar's eyes flashed, and then he comforted, "Xiao San, it's okay. I'll find a chance to ask Rongrong and see what's going on." In his opinion, although he and Rongrong are not a couple yet, it will happen sooner or later. As long as he finds an opportunity to make some innuendo, Rongrong will definitely tell him. But what he never expected was that the girl he liked almost didn't take the form of someone else today, and she took the initiative. The little hand that he wanted to hold in his dreams was grabbed and played with carefully, and the body that he dared not desecrate was touched all over. "Yes, Xiao San, we 7 monsters are one, and no one can provoke the friendship between us." Dai Mubai also nodded, making Tang San feel relieved. "Yeah." Tang San nodded. Luckily he had these brothers here, otherwise he would really lose his mind and fall into the trap of the person who said bad things about him. "But since you dare to sow discord between me and Xiao Wu, I will definitely make you pay a serious price." Wu Xing didn't know that he was hated by Tang San again, and that the other party was even thinking about how to torture him and make his life worse than death. At this time, he had returned to Tiando Royal Academy, but as soon as he returned to his room, before he could do anything, he received a message in the friend column of his diary. Isn't the protagonist written a bit badly? Chapter 48 Treat You to a Lollipop. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother Wu, have you returned to the academy? Opening his friend's diary, Wu Xing looked at the message from Ning Rongrong and couldn't help but chuckle. This little witch was really impatient. It had only been so long before she couldn't help but interact with him, but thinking about what happened with him in the bathroom this morning, he felt hot inside. "We're back, where are you?" Wu Xing typed in reply, "The Shrek student dormitory is different from the dormitory of Tiando Royal Academy. It is a multi-person dormitory, and Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhu Zhuqing are assigned together. This shows the huge gap in the financial resources of the two colleges." After comforting Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong lay on her bed. After thinking about it boredly, she couldn't help but open a copy of her diary and send a message to Wu Xing. She originally thought that Wu Xing might not reply to her so quickly, but she didn't expect to receive a reply from the other party immediately, which made her feel excited. He quickly sat up straight and replied, "Brother Wu, I have been back a long time ago." "Oh." Wu Xing just said "oh" and said nothing further. Looking at Wu Xing's shallow reply, Ning Rongrong pouted. This guy was too perfunctory, so he couldn't ask more questions. Wu Xing didn't know what Ning Rongrong was thinking, and even if he knew, he wouldn't say too much. He was not Oscar, and he wasn't a dog licker. A beautiful woman would want to rip her heart out when she sent a message. What's more, chatting with girls also requires skills. The more proactive you are, the less likely the other party will care about you. Although there was a small expression of dissatisfaction on his face, Ning Rongrong still asked, "Brother Wu, what are you doing now?" "Me? I'm lying on the bed now." Seeing Ning Rongrong taking the initiative to find a topic, Wu Xing replied with a smile. "Me too." Ning Rongrong smiled, as if she had thought of something, glanced at Xiao Wu in the opposite bunk, and then said, "Brother Wu, Rongrong has a piece of news for you." "What news?" Wu Xing asked curiously. He was immediately interested in the fact that the little witch could share it with him like a treasure. Xiao Wu had a conflict with Tang San just now. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Ning Rongrong's message to come through. Did Xiao Wu have a conflict with Tang San? When Wu Xing saw it, he became energetic and said, "Tell me more about it." "Humph, I know you, the big bad guy, like to hear it." Ning Rongrong snorted. This guy was more interested in Xiao Wu than himself. Wu Xing looked at this message and felt funny in his heart. He said you were the best sisters in the morning, but now he is jealous, fearing that you are not plastic sisters. Thinking like this, Wu Xing's movements were not slow and he typed, "You and I like it too. I can't bear to let go until I see the auction house." Bah! Ning Rongrong looked at Wu Xing's reply, her face turned red, and she couldn't say anything. Thinking of what happened at the auction house, she felt shy for her boldness, especially a certain part, which she still remembers freshly: big villains and big perverts don't know what to do if they are pinched gently. Ning Rongrong's voice was not a message to Wu Xing, but a subconscious statement. This made Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing at the side look over curiously. "Rongrong, what are you talking about?" "No. It's nothing." Ning Rongrong was startled when she heard Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing's inquiry. Then she remembered that Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing were both here, and immediately shook her head. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing looked surprised, but they didn't ask any more questions. Seeing this, Ning Rongrong breathed a sigh of relief. It was such a dangerous but exciting feeling, she liked it so much. On the other side, Wu Xing looked at Ning Rongrong, who had not received news for a long time, and was puzzled. Could this little witch be embarrassed to reply because he was teasing her? It shouldn't be. The other person was so bold in the morning, but now he is shy. Just as Wu Xing was wondering, the news about Ning Rongrong came belatedly. "You big pervert, I almost got killed by you." That Wu Xing looked at it, smiled in astonishment, and said, "What harmed me?" "Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing." Ning Rongrong replied angrily, "They all asked me what happened just now." "Ha!" Wu Xing replied. "You're still laughing." Ning Rongrong pretended to be angry. Wu Xing shook his head and continued, "Stop making trouble, tell me why Xiao Wu and Tang San are having conflicts." When Ning Rongrong saw that Wu Xing was eager to know what was going on, she pouted again, but she still told him the ins and outs of what happened between the two of them. "Huh, okay, not bad, not bad." After hearing Ning Rongrong's explanation, Wu Xing felt relieved. It seemed that his words had had an effect. Now there was just a gap, and he believed it would only get bigger and bigger in the future, and in the end he was willing to give Tang San a hat. After all, if it weren't for the hypocrisy of the other party, no matter how much he provokes him, it won't have any effect. It's entirely his own fault. "Brother Wu, Rongrong has told you, is there any reward?" Seeing Wu Xing so happy, Ning Rongrong also said happily. Seeing that Ning Rongrong wanted to seek favors, Wu Xing smiled again, and then said, "Yes, I will go to Tiando City another day and treat you to a lollipop." "Lollipop?" Ning Rongrong was stunned. After thinking for a moment, he didn't know what it was. He couldn't help but ask in confusion, "Brother Wu, what is a lollipop?" "It's a kind of candy from my hometown. It's delicious and delicious to lick. I guarantee you won't be able to put it down after eating it once." Wu Xing typed while smiling. "Okay, it's a deal, you can't lie to Rongrong." Ning Rongrong heard this and happily agreed. It was quite extraordinary to be able to have Brother Wu introduce the candy so solemnly, and she was looking forward to it very much. "It's a deal." Wu Xing almost laughed. Ning Rongrong would never have thought that the candy Wu Xing mentioned was not a real candy, but he was somewhat right. After the other party tasted it, he would definitely not be able to put it down. After teasing the other party, Wu Xing asked again, "What's Xiao Wu's situation now?" After Zhu Qing and I comforted her, she felt much better. Because of the reward that Wu Xing promised, Ning Rongrong answered happily and did not become jealous. "Okay, if something like this happens again in the future, you can tell me." Wu Xing did not make noises, nor did he let Ning Rongrong say bad things about Tang San. Although the two had conflicts, if they directly intensified the situation, then it would just be stupid behavior. Of course, it would be foolish to intensify directly, but it is possible to use another method. Wu Xing had an idea in his mind. Yes. Ning Rongrong responded happily. She was naturally happy to be able to deliver the news for Brother Wu, which meant that the two of them could keep in touch without talking, and it also promoted their relationship. As for Tang San, she could see it clearly now, and she was very disgusted. What she told Brother Wu was absolutely right. It was too double standards and too hypocritical. Xiao Wu just didn't answer his question, so she got angry at Xiao Wu and threatened to kill anyone who said bad things about him. How could this be pampering or love? It was clearly a pathological desire to control. So she didn't have any psychological burden at all for secretly reporting the news to Brother Wu. The only person she felt sorry for was Xiao Wu, but she did it for the others' good and couldn't let Xiao Wu be harmed by Tang San. Chapter 49 Swinging the hoe violently to dig out the wall. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu, what are you doing? Now that he knew that Xiao Wu and Tang San were in conflict, Wu Xing decisively opened Xiao Wu's friend panel, edited a line of text and sent it. Although he didn't intend to make a fuss, but the other party was in a low mood now, it was a good opportunity to take advantage of it. Of course he had to show off his scumbag. No, Chao's thief ambition. What the hell, it's the true nature of a warm man. Send some warmth. Sitting in front of the bed, Xiao Wu was reminded of scenes from the past, feeling increasingly sad. Tang San's behavior today was completely different from before, making her feel strange. Suddenly, a message came from her mind, interrupting her memories. When she opened the copy of the diary, her originally gloomy eyes gradually lit up. It's Brother Wu. Brother Wu has contacted me. Looking at the message from Brother Wu, Xiao Wu calmed down and typed slowly, Brother Wu, I'm in the dormitory and haven't done anything. In the dormitory? Didn't you absorb the fairy grass? Wu Xing said, pretending not to understand. Although he planned to send warmth and comfort to the injured little rabbit, Ning Rongrong secretly told him the news about the conflict between the two. He would not bring it up on his own initiative. The best way was to let the other party tell him. This is the real truth. Smart approach. No. Xiao Wu replied. Why? Wu Xing asked, pretending to be curious. Xiao Wu is not in the mood. Xiao Wu hesitated for a moment before replying. Seeing Xiao Wu's message, Wu Xing curled up his lips and asked again, what's wrong? Are you in a bad mood? Did you not have a good time today? Is it because of your mother's affairs? Brother Wu, I'm sorry that I couldn't help you. Wu Xing did not mention Tang San at all, and showed his acting skills to the fullest. No, Brother Wu is none of your business. Xiao Wu is not unhappy because of this. Seeing Wu Xing's self-blaming tone, Xiao Wu quickly typed a response. What is that? Can you tell me, Brother Wu? You should know that I came from another world. I know many things. I may not be able to help you. Wu Xing continued to pretend to be stupid. Seeing Wu Xing's concerned tone, Xiao Wu's still disappointed mood warmed up slightly, thinking of the third brother's previous attitude towards her, and then thinking of Brother Wu always keeping it in mind because he only mentioned her mother, and he didn't even help her and blamed himself for it. The care shown by the two was completely different. The third brother only cares about where he has gone and why he didn't tell him when he went out. He seems to be worried about him, but in fact he regards himself as something that belongs to the other party. This kind of care is not about caring about oneself at all, but about himself. It is an expression of extreme selfishness and possessiveness. On the other hand, Brother Wu was sincere in his concern for himself, without any pretense. He was even worried that he might be sad because of his mother's affairs, and he even found a lame excuse to say hello to himself. Unknowingly, Xiao Wu compared Wu Xing with Tang San. Only through this comparison did she discover who was truly good to her. Wu Xing didn't know Xiao Wu's inner thoughts, nor did he know that he took the initiative to send her a message and was mistaken for being a lame excuse to care about her. Now Wu Xing was looking at Xiao Wu, who had not replied to him for a long time, and was confused. Could it be that he had acted too hastily? Let Xiao Wu discover his intention. Rongrong, what is Xiao Wu doing now? After hesitating for a moment, Wu Xing decided to ask Ning Rongrong. Giving Tang San a big hat was the wish of countless book fans, and he didn't want his plan to fail because of it. "Huh, you bad guy, I asked you why you haven't replied to the message. It turns out you were chatting with Xiao Wu, and you really care about Xiao Wu more." Ning Rongrong was still depressed because Wu Xing didn't reply to his message, and suddenly he saw he was happy when he heard the message, but his face immediately fell after hearing this inquiry. Ning Rongrong's resentful tone made Wu Xing twitch the corner of his mouth, and he quickly typed out, "Okay, Rongrong, Brother Wu is not joking with you. I will reward you with 2 lollipops next time." When talking about lollipops, Wu Xing said twice, not 2. But Ning Rongrong didn't understand the subtlety of what he said. He looked at Xiao Wu happily, stupidly, on the opposite bed, and then said, "Xiao Wu is in a daze." "In a daze?" Wu Xing was stunned. What the hell is a daze? Just when Wu Xing was confused about Xiao Wu's behavior, news about her came again. "Brother Wu, can I ask you something?" Xiao Wu said quietly. "You said it." Wu Xing replied. Xiao Wu looked at the chat window, and after being silent for a while, she asked, "San. Third brother, is he really that kind of person?" Wu Xing did not reply to the other party immediately, but made a few points, first expressing his speechlessness, and then said, "Xiao Wu, you shouldn't ask me this question. You should understand my attitude towards Tang San after reading so many diaries. If you ask me, isn't it the same as asking me to speak ill of him in front of you? Sincerity is the most deadly, and Wu Xing's attack can be described as the absolute best." Sure enough, Xiao Wu paused when he saw this, and then said, "Xiao Wu wants Brother Wu to tell me personally." I'll forget about telling you personally. You'd better watch it yourself." Wu Xing didn't answer, but directly sent a video to her. This video shows Tang San expressing hostility towards him in Dugu Mansion. In it, he maintained a gentlemanly demeanor from beginning to end. It turns out it's true. Xiao Wu watched the video silently, feeling extremely depressed. Substituting the vision of Brother Wu, as a guest of Dugu Mansion, there was no problem with his performance. Even though he belittled the third brother countless times in the diary copy, he did not show any hostility towards him, let alone deliberately provoke him, and always maintained his own position. The third brother, on the other hand, looked down on Brother Wu without saying anything, and even mocked him. In the end, when he was slapped in the face, instead of finding reasons for himself, he resented Brother Wu. His gnawing eyes made even Xiao Wu feel scared. No wonder Brother Wu said that Tang San had double standards and was hypocritical. No wonder Brother Wu said that it was okay for Tang San to slap others in the face, but it was not okay for others to slap him in the face. It was a complete act of hypocrite. Xiao Wu smiled sadly. In the past, she was deceived by Tang San's disguise, but luckily a copy of the diary appeared, allowing her to see clearly the other person's true face. At this moment, Xiao Wu no longer had the dependence on Tang San that she had before, and could only express gratitude for taking care of her in the past, nothing more. "Thank you, Brother Wu." Xiao Wu said gratefully. Wu Xing said uncertainly, "Is there anything wrong with you?" "Don't worry, Brother Wu, Xiao Wu is very strong." Xiao Wu clenched her little pink fist and said firmly, looking at Xiao Wu who was not in pain because of this. Wu Xing said slowly, "Xiao Wu, it's not that Brother Wu is slandering him. Tang San's feelings for you are not love at all. He just regards you as himself. Private property, no one is allowed to touch it. It seems that he is caring for you, but in fact it is not so much that he cares about you, but rather that he cares about himself." Xiao Wu understands. Xiao Wu said calmly. "Well, as long as you understand, don't do anything stupid." Wu Xing said with concern. "Xiao Wu will not do stupid things." Xiao Wu gave Wu Xing a positive answer. She still had her wish to resurrect her mother yet to be fulfilled, so how could she do stupid things? What's more, after seeing Tang San's face clearly, it wasn't even worth it. Why should she feel sad about such a person? Chapter 50 Team members gather, 3 updates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Husband, what are you thinking about? You are so happy. Su Ruashi, who came out of the bathroom, saw Wu Xing leaning on the bed with a smile on his face. She immediately rushed towards him, stretched out her hands and hooked his neck, raised her head and asked with a smile. Wu Xing told her the word husband when he came back from Tiando City. It means husband and wife. She particularly liked it, so she used it. Wu Xing lowered his head and kissed the other party's fair cheek, then smiled and said, because of my husband, I am about to accomplish a big thing. Are they those 3 girls? Su Ruoshi asked slightly. Ah. Wu Xing was ashamed. Although he missed Shrek's 3 beauties, he couldn't show it in front of his woman. Although she wouldn't care, it was precisely because the other party didn't care that he couldn't talk about it. Of course not. Wu Xing shook his head and then said, you remember Tang San, right? Remember. Su Ruoshi nodded, a hint of coldness flashed in her eyes. Not only did that guy look down on his own man, he also mocked him and even showed unabashed hostility towards him. How could she not remember such a person? I will soon make him desert his family. Wu Xing explained his plan to Su Ruoshi with a smile. After hearing Wu Xing's plan, Su Ruoshi's eyes lit up and said, isn't it too easy for that guy? Why don't you rob Xiao Wu that he cares about and throw it away in front of his face? That when Wu Xing heard this, a drop of cold sweat formed on his forehead. He didn't even mention his thoughts about Xiao Wu, but unexpectedly his own woman became ruthless, even more exaggerated than him, confronting Tang San. This is a real punishment. Ahem, Ruoshi, this idea of yours is unacceptable. Wu Xing coughed repeatedly, seeing her man's expression of being interested but not daring to admit it. Su Ruoshi's face showed a hint of cunning. Husband, don't say you have no idea about Xiao Wu, you can't hide what happened at the auction house today from me. When Wu Xing heard this, he smiled awkwardly, thinking that this girl was not jealous, but it was all a lie. Husband, Ruoshi has no other intentions. I don't care how many women you accept. I just hope you can always treat me well. Su Ruoshi said affectionately, and the hands around Wu Xing's neck tightened inadvertently. Tight, she knows her man's abilities and his potential. There will definitely be many women in the future. She will not fight for favor or fight over it. The only thing she worries about is that Wu Xing likes the new and hates the old. This is something that all women worry about, no matter how deeply they love each other. Looking at Su Ruoshi, who looked up to him affectionately, Wu Xing gently stroked her slender hair, kissed her before saying seriously, don't worry Ruoshi, I will always be good to you, and I will never abandon you. Although he is lustful and admits that he is a bit of a scumbag, he will never abandon a woman because of the new. Yes. Su Ruoshi nodded vigorously, and then gave her a sweet kiss. Hubby, give it to me. Seeing the passionate Su Ruoshi, Wu Xing was also filled with passion. She had just finished taking a shower and was wearing a black gauze nightgown. The looming scene was the most alluring, but thinking about the gathering tomorrow, if he just went into battle with a gun, he would not be able to bear it. It was certain that he would not be able to get up, so Wu Xing did not act immediately, but lowered his head, kissed and said a few words in her ear. Su Ruoshi, who was already infatuated, turned even redder when she heard her man's whisper, rolled her eyes charmingly, and then snuck into the quilt. Early the next morning, Wu Xing and Su Ruoshi got up very early. Although there was a big fight last night, because of the prelude, Su Ruoshi was not too tired, but her sexy little mouth felt like it was no longer hers. After washing up, we went to the cafeteria to have breakfast, and then went to the gathering place mentioned by the instructor. When the two arrived at the gathering place, the members of Tiando's second team were already there. Seeing Wu Xing's arrival, several team members greeted him warmly. Wu Xing's name is now known to everyone in the entire academy. Especially his sparring match with Du Guyan, which completely crushed his opponent, has become even more popular. Even the tutors from all the colleges were amazed, feeling that Daegu College had found a treasure this time. Therefore, none of the current team members admire Wu Xing, even though they are all relatives of the emperor. After all, strength is the theme of this world. As for the relationship between Wu Xing and Su Ruoshi, everyone already understood it and no longer had any thoughts. Time passed quickly, and everyone did not wait long. Instructor Yu Feng appeared, but behind him were 4 students who were also wearing Tiando Royal Academy uniforms. Yu Feng looked at the 7 people, and when he faced Wu Xing, he nodded with satisfaction, and then said, "There are still 10 months left, and the continent-wide Senior Soul Master Elite competition is about to begin. In order to be able to replace Tian-Do Royal Academy has achieved honors, and after the decision of the Education Committee, these 4 students will join your team for training. Although the Soul Master competition is held in a team of 7 people, due to the large number of competitions and some uncontrollable factors, injuries may occur, so rotation among members is essential. Therefore, the organizers of the competition stipulated that each college can send 4 players for rotation adjustments. After briefly introducing the 4 students and getting to know each other, Yu Feng said, "I will take advantage of this time to tell you the rules of the Soul Master competition today. The Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Elite Competition is sponsored by the Imperial Royal Families of Tiando and Xingluo, and is co-organized by Wuhuan Palace. It is the largest martial arts competition in the Soul Master world. It is an event that brings together all the geniuses in the continent. First of all, the 2 most important rules of the competition are age, which must be under 25 years old. Secondly, during the competition, friendship and discussion are the main focus, and death is not allowed, so you have to keep this in mind and try to avoid injuring your opponent unless necessary, otherwise if you kill your opponent, the college will bear the corresponding losses and will be expelled from the Soul Master competition. Do you understand?" At this point, Yu Feng paused and looked at everyone, except for Wu Xing. All of these students were people with a big background. They acted as they pleased, and their actions were naturally neither light nor serious, so he gave them a lot of reminders. In his opinion, although there is a gap between these students of his and the first team, looking at the advanced Soul Master academies across the continent, their strength is relatively high, so he is worried that they will treat the rules as child's play. Of course, he never expected that his second team students were the lowest level supporting players in the original work, and were eliminated by Shrek Academy in just 1 minute. I also thought that I should be careful with my actions, so as not to get beaten up by the major colleges. However, now that Wu Xing has joined, things in the original work will definitely not happen again. Looking at the instructor who came over, all the students said indifferently, "Understood, instructor, we will pay attention to it." Seeing that these students didn't seem to be relieved, Yu Feng couldn't help but sigh slightly in his heart. Teaching these relatives of the emperor, although the rewards were generous, was really tiring. Wu Xing on the side looked at the nonchalant team members, but there was a strange expression on his face. These guys didn't really think they could kill everyone, right? No way. Really not. Wu Xing, who had watched the anime, had images emerge in his mind one by one. He really couldn't think of any of the participating teams that was weaker than this team.